These Sherpa SD-360s parked at the Smoke Jumper Base in Redmond, Oregon are used to ferry airborne firefighters to remote locations with the goal of putting out small wildfires before they become raging infernos. Ralph Sweeney, a smoke jumper for 17 fire seasons, is now a Forest Service pilot and is at the controls of those planes. They're used to load up wildland firefighters and quickly get them to wildfires in the middle of nowhere. Out there, with no roads, the best way to get firefighters to a fire is to parachute them in. Sweeney works with smoke jumpers, known as spotters, in the rear of the planes. They're positioned at the exit door and help drop firefighters and cargo as close as possible to a wildfire.
Okay, did you guys see the jump spot?
So we're communicating with the spotter, identifying a proper jump spot, making sure the winds are good for the jumpers, and then we find the right altitude and airspeed to get those guys out the door safely and onto the ground. And so there's a process with the streamers and the spotters communicating to us and giving us corrections so we can get them lined up to the right jump spot and on the ground safely.
Communication between Forest Service pilots like Sweeney and spotters is crucial. There's little room for error.
We can't see everything that they can see. They have their heads out the door in the back and they're looking directly down onto the ground. When we're flying the aircraft, we're just listening to them and they're basically driving us to the jump spot on that streamer run. And then we can make, corrections and mark a heading bug to line that up for the next time when we have smoke jumpers in the pattern. But those initial first turns are for them to, it's critical for them to steer us around.
Josh Cantrell is the training manager at the Redmond Smoke Jumper Base. He's also a smoke jumper and a spotter. Finding a spot to safely put the smoke jumpers on the ground is a major responsibility for him on a deployment.
Proximity to the fire, that's the big one. The closer proximity to the fire, the shorter walking distance to get to the fire and actually take action where we can deliver the cargo. If you throw cargo into the trees, you're going to dedicate plenty of time just getting the cargo. And that's all of your supplies and tools necessary to even suppress the fire, do anything. So if you're spending all your time getting that stuff out of the trees, you're not fighting the fire. It's growing, it's getting, established or becoming a bigger animal to fight. So that's part of it.
Back in the cockpit, Sweeney needs to pay attention to various instruments, radio chatter, other planes in the area, and especially when flying low, the terrain.
There's a lot going on, so you accept that risk when you become a pilot, and this is just another level of that risk. So we mitigate it with proper checklists. Every single, part of the mission we have a checklist for, and we're reading that out. And that's the nice thing about a dual crew, is that you have a co-pilot and a pilot, and we're backing each other up constantly, reading checklists, confirming the checklists, and that's really the basis of our safety operation.
There's a high level of satisfaction Sweeney has for the job he does.
Every time you jump out of the airplane is exciting, right? There's something going on. You're always very focused on what's going on, and to be able to stay part of that has been really fun for me, to be a smoke jumper and then a spotter and then be up in the front of the airplane and helping those guys get out the door. Yeah, there's obviously some excitement involved, and I really enjoy working for those guys and getting them out the door, and it just makes me feel good, like I've been passing on something to them,